Design, and I left all of my friends. I wish that I was fine, but the pain, it never ends. It's never summertime, winter always pulls me in, and I feel so lost, and I feel so down. No, this pain won't stop, with my face up on the ground. And I wish I could drop, and just make myself drown in the life that is not. Yeah, you always let me down. You left me outside in the cold again. I think I'm alright, but I'm lost within. Took over my life, so it has to end. It's over this time, yeah, you came and went. You left.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.
Good evening and welcome back to another evening with us out here on EyeOn Entertainment Network. And over on the left-hand side of your screen, you have your beautiful hostess, Lori. And on the right, you have myself, Bob, and we're out here to spend another evening with you. And good evening out there, everybody.
Yes, good evening.
Hello, Cheshire. How's it going?
Here we are. Hey, DW.
Hey, DW.
Our guests. Hello and welcome.
Hello there.
So I'm trying to fix my mic here. Hold on. We have Mr. and Mrs. Morgan here. Did you want to take over, Bob, for a second so I can figure out what's happening here?
Sure. So I have a link to your YouTube channel in the description, and I've watched through the the main video that you put out there, and I'm first of all just really sorry for everything that you all have gone through. Both of us are. It sounds like quite a mess. And for anybody who watches this on the replay, be sure to go to the description and follow it over there to the channel and show some love and support. And so, just again, want to welcome both of you out here. And for for those who are watching here in the chat, if you wouldn't mind, as much as you would like or as little, if you wouldn't mind sharing your story and what's taken place. I can't even imagine what you both are going through with this whole situation. It sounds I'm not sure why, but the sound it sounds like you're very far away. Technology.
See if I can turn the microphone up.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cheshire.
Sorry to hear that, Cheshire. Definitely be praying for you.
Hugs, boo-boo.
Okay. How's it sound?
I think that is better. How's it on your end, hon?
Yeah, no, it's good.
And you may hear my kids or her kids and her son in the background. So just that's the thing with live,
The sound is still low, DW says.
Is it? Huh. What type of device are you connected on?
We're on a laptop.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie. Okay.
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah,
I think here. So. Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
But yeah, please feel free to share, your situation, and anybody in the chat, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. But for both of you, just don't, if there's something that would just be too deep or something that you don't want to answer, just don't hesitate to pass, because you should be able to feel comfortable out here and talk about the situation and everything that's happened. And so just don't hesitate to decline to answer any questions that you don't want to answer.
Okay. Okay, did you guys want to start and let us know what all happened?
You want to start?
No,
You want
go
to?
ahead.
On March the 11th, 2019, our son Verdis Jr. was found deceased inside of a parked car in Pinellas Park, Florida. And since his death, we have been unable to really get a full story as to what happened. And like we're asking for our answers.
Mm-hmm.
Ruled his death a suicide, but what we have and what we know is not consistent with the suicide.
Right.
And um, we've written multiple agencies out of Florida. We've called in multiple agencies out of Florida, and we're still have not received, all the information we need. Not only that, we never got any of his belongings, his cell phone, ID card, wallet, shoes, clothes.
Wow.
He's missing his organs, and we don't know 100% if we even indeed have our son. The body
Yeah,
received.
that's what I. That's what I. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
Just turn your phone on. Your phone is low.
Nah, you gotta love technology.
So, so
My-
it's more than just the death itself. It's everything that's transpired around his death,
Yes.
mm.
and we've got inconsistent stories, and nothing adds up. Nothing adds up,
So
and
would you like to explain what makes you think that you're not 100% certain that that's your son?
it doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like him, and not only does it not look like him, the features in the face are not the same features as my son. The other thing, when we initially, because my husband and I, we did go to Florida when this initially happened for 4 days. And while we were there for 4 days, we were denied access into the morgue to see our son.
Wow.
We also denied a picture to see our son. And everything we asked for, they said the last place he was seen alive was at Walmart. We asked for, to see the Walmart video. They denied it. The car that he was supposedly found in, they denied. They denied everything. Everything we were denied. Everything.
Wow.
Wow, that is something. Chad says so they think he was organ harvested.
We don't know. We're trying to put the pieces together now. He's missing organs. He's definitely missing organs.
Now, I know in the video on your YouTube channel you had mentioned about the nose as well.
Mhm.
That's definitely not his nose.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that has eyes. They know that that's not the same nose. So I had a recent conversation with supposedly the forensic investigator of the medical six examiners out of Pinellas County, Florida. And I asked him, what do you do when you get the wrong body? Because all this time has passed by, and this is the same question we've had, and we still have not gotten a definitive answer. So his response was the funeral director calls and arrange for the body to be brought back, and they bring out the right body. I said, well, the body that I received, that's not my son. His response was, didn't you see the tattoos? So basically, you're telling me that I'm not supposed to know my son by his face. I have to know him by some tattoos.
Wow.
I may not even know all the tattoos my son have. I don't know.
Right.
Why would I need to know tattoos on a body but not know a face? So yeah, I mean, I was very angered by that, considering everything we've already been through. And I don't know why, but we are human and we do have feelings and we do love our son and we
Yes,
do want answers.
that's totally understandable and totally normal in the situation. Jameson was asking, do and again, you know, don't feel that you have to answer questions if you don't feel comfortable doing so. But Jameson had asked, do we know which organs? I don't mean to be graphic. Do you know which organs are missing?
We don't know all the organs that are missing.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's probably written out, but we don't know all. One for sure is going to be the brain.
Wow.
For sure, 100% is the brain.
Did they do a DNA test?
We were told our son was identified with a still photo from Walmart. And how did they know that that was my son at Walmart? I want to know. That's what we were told. But as I mentioned earlier, we did speak with the investigator, supervisor, supposedly. He stated that they went through the extremes to identify him and ran fingerprints. If that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I was told. But according to the reports we received, he was identified with a still photo from Walmart.
That was their method of it. Saying that okay, you showed that on that video, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now
I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. That's crazy.
That really is. I mean, would you mind elaborating on the background involving Walmart for those out in the chat, and for anybody else who's wanting further information, be sure to go over and check the link down in the description. You can see a video where this information has been discussed. But if you wouldn't mind, would you mind sharing about what evidently supposedly took place at the Walmart?
Supposedly, my son took the keys to his ex-girlfriend's car out of a shopping cart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ironically, you probably are not going to be surprised at pretty much anything at this point. You'd see everybody at Walmart but my son.
Yeah.
So that's supposedly what took place. But once again, you do not see my son on the video.
Now, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
You in the video you see a hand, an arm going into over the shopping cart, and then you see it pulls back, but you don't actually see
it grab anything.
Person. Yeah, that could be anybody.
And you don't know who that person is reaching over in the shopping cart.
Correct.
And then you see a person walking out in the video.
See that.
But you see a silhouette going out of Walmart. And then that's it.
Wow. Yeah, so how in the
video, they don't in the Walmart video.
At any time you don't actually see
him.
Wow.
Verdis Jr. walking out of or anywhere in Walmart.
Wow.
They don't show him if he took the keys, taking the keys and walking to the door. None of that is in the video. You don't see any of that in the video. And we're going to release the video, the Walmart video at some point too, as well. Because we really want people to see what we received. I want everybody to see what we received from Pinellas Park Police Department.
Yeah.
I just want to say, hey, Creative Renewal, welcome. Lori.
Hey, Creative and Lori.
Was there somebody else?
Yeah, it's like Creative says, you guys need closure, some sort. Like a still, like somebody said in the chat, a still photo is not a means to identify somebody.
No, the way you identify someone is by DNA,
DNA.
fingerprint, and
Mm-hmm.
dental.
Yep.
You know, I've never heard of it either. You know, and you know, I asked them, you know, are you sure? You know, and not only that, the sad thing is, you know, we were in Florida for 4 days. 4 days. And we did not get to see our child. Not only that, he mentioned that they should have shown me a picture when I talked to the investigator, you know, on what it's been tomorrow will be 2 weeks that I spoke with him. He's supposed to call me back, but I haven't heard from him. But I went through the pictures because he said they should have shown me a picture. So I go through the pictures and I'm looking at the pictures from the medical examiner's office. And if out of the pictures that we received, which were 24 pictures that they took at the medical examiner's office, if they had shown me the picture that showed my son's face, his skull is crushed in. So they wouldn't have been able to show me a picture because it wouldn't have matched what they told us it was, a gunshot wound to the head.
Right.
His skull is clearly crushed. You can see that in the picture.
Okay, I found a picture that was on that video that you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of who I guess your son is and who they say your son is.
Mm-hmm.
I put the link to that in the chat because I don't know if you're all right with showing the picture. I don't want to. If you don't,
no,
we're
open because we want answers, and you can't get any answers if you don't.
I know it's a difficult thing.
It's
that's why
challenging, but at this point, you know, we just ask for God's grace and mercy because you know He's the one that's gotten us this far anyway. So, it is, and the reality of it is this is what we're dealing with. So there is no really way to sugarcoat anything because that's not gonna help the situation.
Yeah, true enough. Trigger warning though, because this is a picture of somebody who has died. Just so people know that. I don't know if one of the mods can do a trigger warning thing and I can click it and put it up there. But here's the picture, and you guys tell me if these two people look alike. Are you able to see it?
It is up there, yes.
Okay. So the one on the right is your son. And the one on the left.
The one with the white shirt on is our son.
Right.
The one on the left is going to be the body that they sent up from Pinellas County, Florida.
Now, I don't do too well with pictures because I have very limited vision. But and so just forgive me for this, but like even from what little I can see in the pictures, it seems like there's a difference in like the skin tone, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, the skin tone is definitely off.
I can see the tattoo thing that they were saying because this is like, you know, how it is here. It's similar to like what it is here. But I mean, there could be other people that have tattoos like that.
Or the tattoos could have been put on after the fact. Too.
Exactly.
Or that too. Yeah, there's that possibility. But there's nothing similar here.
The skin tone's different. The facial structure is different, and
the nose for sure is different.
The nose is definitely different. I mean, it's just the whole facial structure is different. Even though you can see that body has clearly got bones. His face has been crushed in and stuff, which that's exactly what they try to make it look like. His skull's been crushed in, but you still can't change the facial structure of what he would look like if his head wasn't crushed in. But it doesn't look nothing like my son. And when I first seen that body, I had told the the that wasn't my son.
Yeah, and I remember hearing.
And I told her that they got the wrong body. They sent the wrong body up here.
But there's nothing that's the same. Like the eyes aren't even, the shape of the eyes aren't the same. The nose. I would say the same. That isn't him. Like that does not look like the same person. If you were to tell me that these are the same people, I would say it's a joke because that's not the case.
Hi, Rhiannon.
Hey, Rhiannon.
Lori says, yeah, the nose is totally different. Someone else mentioned about the eyes as well.
DW wanted to know if the deceased picture is before or after reconstruction from the mortician.
It's going to be after whatever they did. We don't know because we didn't get to see them. So we wouldn't know what anybody did.
What was on a different note, what was his relationship with his ex like?
They had a on again, off again relationship. She said that they had a child together, but you know, that's one of the reasons, you know, he was trying to make the relationship work, you know, for the child. But they had an on again, off again relationship. And you know, to bring light to this, they had only been in Florida a couple of days before he came up dead. They hadn't been there very, not at all. So no one really knew him. And what we found out later was that they were staying in a hotel in Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida is, from the information that we received, the hotel, which is not actually in Tampa, but right outside of Tampa in Riverview. It's a 33-minute drive to the Walmart. Now, what made this Walmart so special for them to go to this particular Walmart in little bitty small Pinellas Park, Florida?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It really, really doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm. I know you.
Wait, sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
just gotta say, Creative Renewal said that's not his nose.
Yeah. Now, you had mentioned in the video on your YouTube channel that, and unless I'm mistaken, it sounds like that the detectives didn't really try to get too much information out of his ex.
No. He said that when they broke the news to her, she was very upset. Well, what we may have not told in the video is when we finally got to sit down and to talk to the detective, this was going into day 3 of the death, the third day into the death. We didn't get to speak to them that same day because we live in Tennessee. So we had to, and when we initially got the information, it was already after 8:30 p.m. Monday night when we finally got any information.
Yeah, quite late.
So it wasn't like, you know, we were there in Florida because we were not. I wanted to, you know, let people know that we were not there.
And there's only so much you can do when that distance is there, you know.
Correct.
And
well, even when we got there, we still didn't get much. You know, we still didn't get what I wanted was to see my child. I really wanted to spend that intimate time with my child at the morgue. You know, I didn't get that.
No, and that's so wrong. It just.
Okay, I have to ask, is the picture of him, like where you have the profile picture of him, I guess after he shot himself, is that of your son? Is that actually your son, or is that the person that they showed you?
Which picture?
Here, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Again, guys, trigger warning. This picture.
That's supposedly the gunshot wound to the head, with no exit wound, and it was a 40 millimeter.
Okay, and is this the same person that was not looking like your son before, or is this your son?
The picture suspect. You're right. Yeah, because I truly believe on a lot of the pictures they're not gonna. It's not gonna be my sons. It's none of this. It's as sad as it is. I think it was a lot of manipulation done throughout this whole ordeal. I really do.
It sounds like it.
There's another picture. Hold on. How can I get there? Why am I not getting there?
Lori's question was they didn't. Now you had mentioned they did fingerprinting tests. Lori was asking they did no DNA or dental tests to confirm an identity. They just did the fingerprinting.
Yeah, they said they brought, according to the report from the police department, they brought out a fingerprint scanner, and the fingerprint scanner came back. No matches were found. So how did they know that was him at the crime scene? Because when I kept asking for his wallet, ID card, and cell phone, they informed me, well, he didn't have an ID card. So how would you have known that was him at the crime scene?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
They did no gunpowder testing on the body. None of that. Nothing.
Jamie says, I have a hard time believing that Walmart, of all places, only got one video. You would think they would have cameras at various angles. I know ours is crawling with cameras inside and out.
They have plenty of cameras in the Walmarts. Plenty of them.
They just only gave you what they wanted you to see, it sounds like.
Well, they didn't give us anything because we didn't see anything. That's not my son's arm.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't show me that he did anything because they didn't show me him. They could have had anybody. Nope. Anybody could have went there and did that.
But that doesn't look anything like him. I don't care how it's put or what's said. That I don't think that's the same person.
Right. So what really happened in Florida? What really happened? What really happened?
Now, what was it about that you had mentioned about a welfare check? For everybody that's out in the chat, what is the background in regards to that?
From what we were told, the welfare check was done because there is a female employee that worked in that building that goes for a walk at 12 in the noon and 3. Now, once again, I don't live in Florida.
Right.
But we have boots on the ground in Florida. We have had people to go to that building at 12 and 3. They'd never seen anybody going for a walk. Now, she said the car was there at 12. When she went back out for her walk again, the car was still there at 3. It was hot outside and the windows were rolled up and the car was not on. So they wanted to do a welfare check for the man in the car. So that's how the welfare check came about.
Mm-hmm. Hang on a second.
And we've had several trips there. I've even been in Pinellas Park, a few times since the incident. I've never seen anyone going for a walk at those. I've never seen anybody going for a walk, period.
Wow.
So, I don't know. And then we found out that one of the businesses in that plaza is some kind of behavioral school for girls. Now, they don't have cameras. They have cameras, but they just hadn't installed the cameras yet, supposedly. Exactly.
How convenient. I don't know.
Lori wants to know what happened to the body that they say is your son.
We buried the body.
Oh, you did?
Nobody, no, we couldn't get anybody to do anything about the body that we received from Florida.
Wow. Oh my
So we
gosh.
buried the body, which we're going to eventually at some point have to have the body exhumed. We just didn't want to, I just didn't want to deal with that right now.
Yeah.
The reality of it is going to have to be done. So we're working on that right now. And plus you got to go through procedures to have that done anyway. So we have the go ahead to get done, but now we have to find people that we can trust to get what we need from the body to ensure that that's my son, because at this point, with finding out as much discovery as we found out, you probably want to just DNA test the entire body, the skin, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Slinky wants to know if there's parking lot cameras, and Jamie asks about traffic cameras.
Now they supposedly have traffic cameras. Did we receive any video footage? The answer is no. We have not yet received anything.
Wow.
And as far as the where the car was parked, they said they don't have cameras. So,
wow.
And what's odd is now they have a Facebook page. Of course, you guys probably know this. On the Facebook page, I don't know if it's still there, but I know back when this incident took place, they had a Sergeant Lynch on there speaking about don't ever steal anything in Pinellas Park. All criminals get caught because we have cameras everywhere. But it's odd that the 2 days that my son was supposedly there driving his car around for 2 days in little bitty Pinellas Park, nobody seen or heard anything.
Wow.
I wonder if that video is still up there, because if it is, I can get my hands on it.
Yeah, you go check their Facebook page.
Yeah. I will have to check that out. If that video is up there, I can acquire a copy of it if you ever need it, because
what is the page?
Pinellas Park Police Department, their Facebook page. I think they have a Twitter page too, but I'm not big on Twitter. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook and TikTok.
Creative Renewal says, I'm confused about the organs. Did they take them out in the autopsy?
We don't know when they were taken out. We know that he's missing his organs, though. Yeah. We definitely know that.
Slinky says, where was the car parked? I mean, we know even Home and Garden has cameras.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like just about everybody have cameras on their homes. I mean, cameras are everywhere. And then, looking at the crime, because we have the crime scene disc, right? And the reality of this, guys, is that we didn't get things right away. So don't think that we got, anything from them right away.
It took months, right? You said months.
It took times. Yes, it took time. And when you get what you receive from them, you're trying to make sense of, what you've been told. And you also trying to make sense of what you see. Okay. Yeah. So, even with the crime scene disc, which took 10 and a half, almost 11 months for us to receive that from them. At first they said, no, we don't have any crime scene. Then one day they called, wanted to know, what did I want from them? Well, I wrote you, read the letter.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to send the crime scene disc, but they send the crime scene disc. They don't look professional to me. They look
it looks like a training exercise.
Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, and the disc that there are no labels on it. It looked like a stack of discs that they went and bought from Walmart. You know how you can go get a pack of
like Memorex.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It didn't have
No
any.
labeling, no, none of that. You don't know. And then they didn't send every vehicle that was out there. There's a vehicle on one of the pictures when they're giving that car a jump. You know, you can hear one of the police officers in the video before anybody even gets out there. And we, so there are protocols and procedures and policies that they're supposed to follow when conducting any kind of investigation,
Mhm.
right? So she says the car is dead. I want to know how she know the car was dead. If their job when they got there, their job was to, well, they said he was deceased, correct? So once they realized he was deceased, only thing they needed to do was to secure the scene until the detective and the medical examiner comes. That's it. The forensics team. That's all you were supposed to do. So I was trying to figure out, how did she know the car was dead? I really want to know that.
So many suspicious things with this. 2019, Slinky. It was in 2019.
Correct.
Creative Renewal says, I don't want to go on a conspiracy rant, but that area is shady.
It probably is. I don't know nothing. I never even heard of Pinellas Park until my son was, found deceased down there. If he died down there, I don't know. Only thing I know is what these people told me, because what I did realize was we didn't have anything to prove us nothing actually happened in Pinellas Park, Florida. We didn't have anything.
Wow. No, it just doesn't add up at all. None of it does. And one of the worst things is what's that, hon?
I said it's crazy.
When it doesn't allow you, it doesn't allow you to get any form of closure.
It doesn't allow us to even move on. We haven't stuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know we had spoken with someone several nights ago, totally different situation, and they had to resort to filling out Freedom of Information Act forms to even get so much as anything from the police department. This was in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And have you all had to go through that as well, just to even get minuscule items from them?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they don't comply, because they have their statutes to when they deny you. I asked for the ballistic testing. I wanted the trace from the gun. I wanted the ATF report. I asked for all those things. They never deny you in writing, because when they deny you in writing, they have to give you a reason why they're denying you. So no.
Right.
You don't get everything. You don't get everything.
Slinky says, ridiculous. What are they hiding?
What are they hiding? I want to know.
That's a good question. Creative said, what made him and his girlfriend go there?
We want to know that too.
Well,
she
supposedly,
said, she wanted to move there.
Supposedly, she wanted to move there for a new start. He wasn't moving there. She asked him to help drive the U-Haul down there.
Wow.
And he was moving here with Tennessee with us.
Gotcha.
So he was trying to drive the U-Haul down there and then come here to Tennessee.
Wow.
Because he had a job interview here.
It looks like the reason why they moved to Florida, so he can be killed. That's what it looks like to me.
That's the feeling I'm getting from it, because I mean, here, for them to say that this was self-inflicted, but he had a job interview, he had a future ahead of him. Yeah. Why all of a sudden would he do something like that? That's out of the norm. It doesn't add up at all, and it just seems really, really fishy, to say the least.
So what did his girlfriend have to say about this? Wasn't she there with him? Like,
we never heard from her. Never.
Wow.
Never her or her mother. We've never heard from anybody.
That seems even more suspicious to me
What
too.
the
Just
hell?
Yep.
wow.
Okay, now that's weird.
Yeah. You would think there would be some, we're really sorry that,
No, why wouldn't they
nope.
have called and said he stole her car? He's never stole her car before.
Right.
So all of a sudden he goes to Florida and he steals her car.
Decides to go down there and be someone who he's totally, would be a total opposite of himself.
Right. And then when we talked to the victim's advocate at the Pinellas Park Police Department, she's a retired psychologist. She had a problem with she couldn't believe some of the things herself. Like he came right here and killed himself.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then no response from anybody. No kind of remorse. Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. But she did take the time out to write a review against Joe's Towing because, of course, as I mentioned, they let us know that everything was in forensics. But we found out when we got the police report that the car indeed had been towed to Joe's Towing. So the car never went to forensics as we were told. But she, the same person who has not called Verdis Jr.'s mother or father, took the time out to write a review about Joe's Towing customer service because she was grieving. Okay.
Wow. That makes no sense.
Yeah, she wrote out a whole review and they responded. And the saddest thing about the Joe's Towing, they got all bad reviews. And I mean, all of them are bad.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Because it's what's the, all the reviews are bad. You can check yourself. They're all bad. She wrote a review to them about her loved one who committed suicide in her car. And she put that in that comment 3 times.
So essentially they want you and anybody else who has any questions about this case to believe that he essentially stole his girlfriend's car, drove it and parked it somewhere and committed suicide in the car, even though stealing her car is something he's never done in the past. He had a future ahead of him. He had plans, and yet they're expecting everybody to believe that. That's messed up.
Well, they have cameras throughout their whole city, but they want us to believe they didn't work on those 2 days.
Yeah, isn't that convenient?
Right.
Yeah, just those 2 days.
Mm-hmm. And
Who
the
does the
Walmart video, the Walmart camera didn't work in the store, but it worked when everybody else appeared on it. It worked. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who does the girlfriend know in Florida? Slinky Moon wants to know.
She has some family there. I don't know her whole entire family history, but she does have some family there.
Creative Renewal says the best way to get records is to request them in small quantities and specific records. For example, you have to request the body cam for that day separately from traffic cams and do a bunch of do a bunch of small requests.
Correct. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely what I did. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I still yet to receive everything that I request. They actually want me to come to Pinellas Park, Florida, to scan their files to see if there's something that they could have missed sending me, because they can't go through their records and just see. I have to go down there to see.
It just, and thinking through this, like, so Slinky Moon had mentioned, okay, if, and I say if loosely, he stole her car. What was he fleeing from? Were they in a hotel? But this was at a Walmart that was 33 miles away from the hotel.
Yeah, 33-minute drive from the
33-minute drive. I'm sorry.
The addresses in on Google, they were 33 minutes apart. And that you want to know how many Walmarts was in that 33-minute commute before they got to that one?
Probably more than.
Way more.
A lot closer.
A lot.
where
The
they were.
hotel, it was a Walmart
Yeah.
2 minutes from the hotel.
Yeah, that. I don't know. I just not trying to say that I'm psychic or anything like that. Nothing like that at all. But to me, it feels like a setup.
Exactly. And that's what it feels like to us. It was all planned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You guys need answers. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And the sad thing is this isn't the first time or the second or even third that we've seen law enforcement in different places. Just like I've said before, they couldn't drop the ball because it sounded like they didn't even pick it up in the first place.
Exactly.
I don't know if Dutchie's watching. Are you watching, Duchess? If you're out there?
Wow. Do you think there could be any other motivational factors from? I mean, I know he didn't plan on living down there. Do you think there could have been any motivations for this to take place? Because I mean, I don't believe for an inkling of a second that it was a suicide. Everything just does not.
No. I don't.
No.
I don't believe it either. I don't believe suicide. You know,
Yeah.
I met with the detective in Pinellas Park, Florida, Detective Matson. And I said to Detective Matson, if my son did this to himself, I would have to live with it. But if he didn't, I want justice.
Yeah.
I wanted every I dotted and every T crossed, is what I told him. I told him I was a very thorough person.
Yeah.
I want answers. When we were in Pinellas Park, Florida, we didn't get any more answers than we have today.
Wow.
We really didn't. We still haven't gotten anything. I'm waiting now for a phone call from the forensic investigator supervisor from the medical examiners to go over how they came to the conclusion of suicide. I'm still waiting on that phone call. I want him to explain the bruisings on my son's body at the morgue. I want him not just on his body, including his genitalia area. I want answers, and I'm not going to stop until I get them.
You deserve those answers. Wow. I just. Yeah, and that's another question. Lori Barlow asked, yes, she said yes, they need answers. Speaking of you both, because if that's not their son, then where is their son, and who is that person?
Exactly. That's what we said. Because that's going to be someone's loved one, no matter what.
Exactly.
They were brought into this world, how all of us came into this world, through a woman.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
And their family's missing their son.
If they even know. They might not even know.
They may not.
Know what's going on.
Wow. Yeah, it just, like I said, the situation sounds to me like it was a setup. It sounds to me like law enforcement was not doing anywhere near due diligence in the situation, and you both are expected to just live on, buying the line. Oh, this is your son's body.
Yeah, I guess we wasn't supposed to know what our son looked like. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We wasn't supposed to know that.
My guess is that they're banking on people not questioning shit. You know what I mean?
It sounds like they don't like being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the less work they have to do, the better. And
The question would be is if he killed himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they took the body from the scene, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Then they could have just shipped the body. What happened to his body from the scene to the medical examiners, from the medical examiners to the funeral home? So you ask yourself that question. Where is his body?
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
body looks much older in age. Not only the features, the body looks older.
It does, yes.
So
Much older.
where would they have what would have happened to his body? Because in the conversation that I had with the forensic investigator for Pinellas County, Damon Breton, stated, "You guys are from Tennessee. You gonna have him cremated?" "No, I want to see my son." Well, we don't allow loved ones into the funeral home. It was like, in the morgue, it was like a funeral home, people going in and out the back door. I said, well, let me see a picture. Well, it'll take a week to get a picture. And it may
Wow.
cost. I don't even know how much they charge for
Oh
that.
my gosh.
I said, really? In 2019, it's going to take a week to
Yeah.
get it? And if you
That's-
don't let people into the morgue, then what are you showing these people?
Exactly.
That's true.
Wow.
And come to find out later, the medical examiners chose the funeral home that our son went to. We found that out later. I've never heard of a medical examiner's being involved with a decision that the family makes for a funeral home.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Creative Renewal says, strange. I got this Cuban vibe, like this person isn't even from the U.S.
Exactly. Look
Yeah.
closely at that picture.
Yeah.
That is not even of African American descent. You're absolutely right.
How was his relationship with his girlfriend? Brianna wants to know.
It was up, on again, off again.
Yeah.
On again, off again.
Slinky says, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead."
Me personally,
I need to pop my
it wasn't good. He was
Gotcha.
more concerned. He was more concerned about the baby,
Yeah.
about the baby being abused, and he was more worried about the baby
Oh,
and the well-being of the baby, and that's what kept him around her.
gotcha.
And that was that his baby, his blood baby?
We don't know.
He questioned it,
Yeah.
but she
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
take it. She wouldn't take a DNA.
Yeah, she kept coming up with excuse after excuse.
And she kept coming up with excuses after excuses.
That says a lot about his heart, though, to
She
stay
held that
around
baby.
even with us.
She held that baby over his head to keep him around.
Wow. He sounded like he had a really good heart.
Yeah,
He did.
He had a
Probably too
big
much
heart.
of a good heart.
and too much of a good heart. Yeah.
And that usually comes with a price sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Slinky says, my tinfoil hat is killing me right now. Organs missing makes me wonder his blood type, all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man. Let's see here.
I get that. I mean, my mind is going a lot of different directions. Whoa.
I think he says she gets Social Security for the baby, right? I would demand a DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says a lot that neither she nor her mother have made any contact with you. Just everything is really, nothing short of suspicious all around in this thing.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart for you all going through this and the family. Y'all will definitely be in my prayers and have been ever since I saw the video. Just, gosh, and the story needs to be told. Those in law enforcement and in those different fields down there, they need to be held accountable for this somehow.
Very much so.
Yeah, Creative Renewal said yes, the survivors benefit. That's an interesting thought there.
It's crazy.
It is. I'm just trying to think because it may not sound like it, but I'm typically terrible at coming up with questions, or I'm afraid of asking questions because I don't know. It just we're usually pretty laid back here, but just try to get stories out, and this is really heartbreaking. I mean, you all have had to wait almost a year for some supposed, information that did not help worth a darn at all, other than to blur things even more, and just bring up more questions and more mystery, other than clarifying everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Creative Renewal says the girl claiming to have your grandchild not keeping in touch is very, very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Slinky says, tell Social Security that your son questioned paternity. Maybe grease the wheel a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Creative says we need to make this story more visible. Someone knows something. That's the thing. Somebody knows something.
Somebody, and y'all are right. I truly believe that someone knows exactly what happened, and I truly believe somebody wants to come forward and tell what really happened. I really do. I really do. I really do.
They love to sell girls and organs in Florida?
Slinky said out there, yeah.
What?
Slinky said, first thing my dad told me in Florida is don't go on any boat rides. They love to sell girls and organs in Florida. Creep me out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
My thing is why does it just strongly feel like that law enforcement is trying to cover this up?
Mm-hmm. But the better question, ask yourself this question. Why would law enforcement cover up for a girl that they just met a few days before, just getting into Florida? Ask yourself that question.
Unless she had some sort of connections with law enforcement there before she went there in the first place.
Okay.
That's what I would think.
Mm-hmm. It has to be something there.
It sure seems like it.
Who covers up for someone they don't know? Think about it.
Or she has family in law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's what you mean, connection.
Yeah.
But who would the family be? Because, if you really look at this broadly, you're looking at it's going to be a lot of people involved with this. It's not going to be one or two.
Right. Any idea if she was involved with any drugs or anything like that?
I never seen her use drugs.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just really interesting to think, that she decided, oh, out of nowhere, I'm going to move to Pinellas Park, Florida. Like,
No, she didn't move to
oh,
Pinellas
oh,
Park.
oh, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, but down to that general
They
area.
said that they signed for an apartment in St.
Oh,
Petersburg,
St. Petersburg. Okay, okay,
which is right next to Pinellas Park.
got it,
But
got
when
it.
I went there and did the discovery, the lady informed me not only did they not sign for an apartment, they hadn't even filled out an application to try and receive an apartment. She said it's a process. You can't just come in here and get an apartment. She said there's a process you go through. And the first thing they start with is the application and the background check.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she didn't have anything on either one of them.
So
So
wonder
where
where
did
she
the
is.
address come from in St. Petersburg? Absolutely.
Yep.
And you know, that's what Detective Matson kept trying to tell us, that he signed for a lease. Him and Kara signed for this lease. So he said he took a picture of it. I said, well, I want a copy. Let me see it. I never received it. Never.
Huh.
Never received it.
Wow. Amy says, I feel like she was involved with another guy. That's the feeling that I'm getting. It just.
Or if the baby was some other guy's and she didn't want him finding out.
Or it could be well planned and premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the victim advocate lady said.
Yeah.
How do you be down here for
Less than a
week and have an apartment and
With
have
no
no
job?
job?
Yeah, that doesn't really happen.
It doesn't happen. You know that.
Yep.
In most apartments, you have to have
Credit
3
check.
times your rent. I mean, your income.
Mm-hmm.
And from what the lady told me, the cheapest apartment was $1,200.
Yeah.
So then you have to ask why he would agree to go along with it, knowing that there was no place to go to, though.
Well, unless she just flat out lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
It could be true, too.
Which it sounds like that's something that she would do.
Right.
It sounds like she sounds like a very dishonest person to me.
She sounds very manipulative, if you ask me.
Creative Removal says, I was thinking maybe she used him to get down there, and then they got there and he was possibly set up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's exactly what happened, probably.
Yep. And Jamie says, and the other guy had connections.
Mm-hmm.
Rhiannon says, I'm sorry for your loss. Thinking about how my brother and his homicide and how the law enforcement, or let's see. Yeah, how law enforcement did know something and didn't want to tell us anything. Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Law enforcement ain't what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they're supposed to serve and protect, but it seems like they're just really good at obscuring things and, definitely the furthest thing from protecting.
More like a cartel.
Cheshire asks, is there any reason the emergency brake would be engaged when the car is clearly parked in a flat space?
And it's so many questions about that car we have. It just didn't make no sense to us. Didn't make any sense to us.
Hey, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy. Creative says Florida is a hot state like California, and people flee there. Plus, if you are poor, they won't give you welfare until you're a resident for over a year or so. Huh. It just sounds like something was planned. Like
it was all planned.
Yeah. And
planned.
It's like he says, law enforcement in Florida lie and deflect instead of serve and protect. There you go. Thanks for taking care of that for me, Slinky, because I just
They do.
yeah. Let's see. Creative Renewal says, I wonder if the police just dismissed them as out-of-state non-residents and wishes it would go away. Well, you remember, I remember when Gabby Petito's case was going on and her parents were up in New York, and the Northport police wouldn't really do anything to help them because they were out of state. Which doesn't matter where you're from, that's your family.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let everybody tell it. Everybody in Florida is from out of state.
Yeah.
But they say Florida is a vacation place. So nobody that lives in Florida is from Florida.
Yeah, just like what Creative said, a lot of people from out of state running there. It's hard to establish yourself. Yeah, it just.
Well, I can tell you this about Pinellas County. From the information I've gathered, it sure does seem like a lot of transits end up dead down there. That's what it seems like to me.
Man.
They got more suicides than homicides.
There was thinking of Pinellas County, there was a case that we had talked about back at the end of 2021. And I'm always terrible with her name, but she had worked at an apartment complex down there, and they believe that the maintenance man of that complex.
The one young lady they found after because he raped her. She was a worker there or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was actually the first time I had heard of Pinellas County.
They have a long history. Go do some research. You'll be shocked what you find in Pinellas County. For that little bitty small county, it's really interesting.
I'm definitely going to check into that because it definitely does sound interesting.
That's
not
sure.
Not in a good way either.
Mm-mm.
Do you know they got an international airport in Pinellas County?
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Wonder why.
Lori in the chat, she said, look at the pic of the gunshot wound. There's no way that's self-inflicted. Where the wound is a very awkward place.
There's no exit wound.
Yeah. It's
a 40. 40. Look at where the gun is positioned. There's no way you're shooting yourself in the head. Lower your arm, put the gun on your lap, and then cradle the gun, your hands around the gun. You're not doing all that after you done shot yourself in the head.
No.
Okay, I'm going to bring this picture up so we know what she's talking about. I believe it's this one, right? Trigger warning, it's still up there, but...
Look at the blood pattern. It's...
It's... Where's the other one? Back up, or go forward, I guess, maybe. Okay, so the gun's there.
Neatly folded. Neatly set in his lap.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it doesn't, does it? Oh my goodness. This doesn't want to cooperate with me today.
Yeah, Cheshire says the blood makes no sense.
Oh, come on, back up a little bit. Go forward just a hair.
Now, has any any form of media, have they?
No,
Wow.
I've tried to get Florida to take the story when this initially happened. Oh, speaking of media, they didn't even know that there was a deceased person in Pinellas Park on that day.
Wow.
They didn't, and nobody even knew. No one knew. No one knew. No one knew, including the media, because I called them.
Newspapers.
Nobody knew.
Nobody.
Wow.
And then when I went back to try to see if they would do a story, because I told them I don't believe my son committed suicide. I believe somebody killed him in Pinellas Park, Florida. And she said, one of the reporters, she was communicating with me and she went out to Pinellas Park to find out about this. And she came back and told me, no one knows anything about your son's death. So
okay, so this is the picture you said where he was leaning over, right?
Right. If that's him, we don't know. I don't think that's him. They would have showed him. They didn't show anything.
It looks to me like this guy's dreads are a lot longer than.
Mm-hmm. That arm is shorter too, and it's darker. My son wasn't that dark.
Cheshire says, "Why no blood spatter? Why no other tissue?"
Yeah, why is a lot of not of nothing? Hair and everything else. Stuff should be all over that car.
Yeah. And then let's see here. Lori says his arms wouldn't be cradled like that. They'd be more out to the side. There's no way that was a suicide.
Well, yeah, wouldn't there be blood on the seat? It doesn't look like there's anything.
Well, there would be an exit wound, for that matter.
It would definitely be an exit wound.
Window blowed out, shot out, everything.
Yeah.
Bullet hole in the window.
Something.
Everything.
The gun wouldn't have fell there, would have kicked over to the left, because you got to think about the kickback from the gun when you pull the trigger.
Yep.
And then if you're committing suicide, you're using one hand. So you don't have the two leverage hands when you're firing a weapon, if you go to a shooting range or something. So if he supposedly is a self-inflicted gunshot wound, he's going to use one hand to do that. So you're talking about even more kick from a gun. And you're going to hold on to it and take your hand out your finger out the trigger, place it in your lap and put your hands around it? It's no way possible.
It doesn't even look like there's blood on this side of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Creative Renewal is asking how old he was.
At that time, he was 26.
26.
Wow. Someone, I can't remember who there in the chat, said the car looks clean.
Exactly.
My goodness. Like, we talked with a mother in the end of last year, and the police in her area in Indiana were trying to, so her son was transgender, and the police expected her to believe that her son went out, with asthma in below freezing weather and walked 10 miles with clothing that wasn't made for just withstanding that kind of cold, and walked out to a place and took his own life, and they expected her to believe that this was the case, even though the entry wound was bigger than the exit wound. And I don't understand what's going on with all these people. I really don't.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's really sad. And the stories that they try to impose on these families, come on now. It doesn't make it. Why? That's the most humiliating thing. Like, you think you want me to believe what you're telling me? And when I was in Florida, you couldn't show me anything. I didn't believe nothing they said. I'm gonna be honest with you. I believed absolutely nothing.
And it's it's almost as though they were sitting there thinking, all right, we're just going to give them this body and say that that's their son, and
Right.
this will go away. And my question is what or who are they covering up for?
And that's that's the biggest question everybody wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to know, who are they truly covering up for?
I don't know, but it may just be me, but I honestly don't think this person here in the picture by the shopping cart is the same person as in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Slinky says the guy they sent the pics of looks Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
Creative says they should have shown you his body. I can't imagine traveling there for that.
Right. I didn't travel to see them. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I was even willing to accept a picture at that point.
And that'll be about 7 days. Even though we can just take a device in there and snap a picture, and I mean you can text to another country across the world and have it there in a matter of seconds. But hey, it'll take a week to get a picture.
His skull is crushed in. That's why.
Yeah.
We didn't show those pictures, but his skull is definitely crushed in.
That is messed up.
I'm just not seeing how that's the same person.
I'm blind, and I don't believe for an instant that that's the same person. The story they're expecting you to believe sounds like a bunch of bogus nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Lori says, I'm so angry. These parents deserve answers. That young man's life matters. They deserve to see his body. They should be the ones to identify. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They should be the ones to identify the body because they are next of kin. You're the ones that brought him into the world.
Yeah. And that's the thing I'm angry about, because when you look at the crime scene disc, there are people out there. Who are these civilians? Not only that, there's a volunteer lady out there. Why all these people get to see my son, but I don't? I understand there are people out there doing their jobs. But the other people, they get to see my son and I don't. And then not only do I not to get to see my son, you send me a body that's possibly not even none of my son. And I supposed to say, oh, that's my son because he has a tattoo that resembles my son. That's what we're doing now.
It's messed up. And not just that, but oh, by the way, we fingerprinted him, but we can't show you that.
It's because
it's not him.
Where did the girlfriend move to Florida from?
Tennessee,
Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Okay, sorry.
Columbia, Missouri. Yeah. She doesn't live in Florida anymore.
Huh.
She hadn't lived in Florida. She was gone.
Which tattoo? I'm assuming it's the tattoo that has like those circles on it.
Correct. And the funeral directors that we talked to, not the funeral home that we hired, but other funeral directors, said that's not the same person. And they were the ones who told us how they can manipulate a body to try to make it look like it's somebody. They want you to believe that that's the person, but that's not the same person. And they can easily put tattoos on a body after the fact. Mm-hmm. Doesn't just, and that's the reality of it.
Yep. That's the way this world works nowadays, unfortunately. In situations like this and just regular situations, so many people wearing masks getting you to think that they are someone who they're not, or that somebody else is. Now, one thing I was wondering is, and maybe you've already gone this route, but is there any way that any officials in the political seats in Florida might be able to get further answers, or have you already tried that route?
I did try that route back in 2019 and some of 2020, but I'm backtracking to go back and rewrite everything I've written before, to go back over it all over again and see what kind of responses I get today. So that's what I've been working on.
Did they give any responses back then?
None.
No,
Wow.
no.
Cheshire says, do they realize how many guys have those star tats? Wow.
But like the lips, nothing. The nose, it's the cheek, the eyes, the bridge of the nose. Nothing is the same.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Even the ears are different.
There you go. You're a smart woman. I didn't want to say anything.
There you go.
No, seriously, those ears.
No,
Are,
I'm
okay,
very serious. Very serious. Very smart woman.
Yeah, she
Okay.
is.
Bob, I'm going to explain this to you about how the ears are.
Okay.
The ears on their son, it seems like they have like, well, at least this picture, how they're showing on this picture, that they go in a bit and then come out and whatever. But on the dead person over here, they're actually quite smooth. They don't have no little anything.
So it sounds like a pretty big noticeable difference.
Now, how important would the ear play to,
Because the ear is one of the things on the body that is more than likely to never change.
Yeah, because it's cartilage. It's just pure cartilage.
It would just grow in size as you develop from child to adult.
Yeah.
But the ear is one of the things that would more than likely never change, even when you gain weight or lose weight.
Yeah, because there's really no fat to it at all or anything. It's just pure cartilage. And so, wow.
Yeah, those ears are not the same ears at all.
And the piercings.
The piercings, yeah, I was just going to say that.
The nose piercing. And the earring piercing.
So now how do you, I guess you have to figure out a way to get a DNA test on that body to see if that is your son. I'd be very shocked if it is.
I would too. Because that's when you pull everything from the body. It doesn't just become one thing they're going to have to test. They're going to have to test multiple things.
Everything.
Wow. That's all I can say to that is wow. Yeah, skin tone is way off. Yeah, definitely. But this looks like the face, like on the person that's deceased, it looks like he's got very, very structured structure. Like it's very pronounced. It's there, it's like whatever. With your son, it was more, a soft look. I mean, I get that they have to do stuff to the body and stuff. I do get that. But man, that person, I don't understand why the face would change when we just saw where the injury was.
Well, I was looking up the distances to Columbia, Missouri to St. Petersburg, Florida. And I apologize for my, that's around 1,440 miles to be moving when you don't even have, an apartment lined up or anything else. That's a big distance to travel for something that's not there.
Right.
Like that's
crazy. Again, I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said, skin tone is way off. Wow. The girlfriend lived in Columbia, Missouri before she, moved to Florida for a fraudulent apartment and stuff. Cheshire.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same person.
Amy says the face seems longer.
It is. I said the same thing.
More pronounced. Wow. My gosh. This world's pretty messed up these days, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I'll definitely send some messages to some other people here in the community.
Yeah.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
You're
We,
welcome.
what
We
we can do.
appreciate you being willing to come out here and share this, because I'm sure it doesn't get any easier at all.
It hadn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all.
No,
It hasn't
no.
been easy.
And neither Lori nor myself can relate to the pain that you both have gone through, but we're definitely here for you, however we can be.
Do you know how they met?
Huh?
Do you know how your son and his girlfriend met?
They met at a party, like at a party.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Lori says, I'm so sorry you all are going through this horrible nightmare. I will pray you all get answers soon.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Same here.
Prayers for the Morgan family, says DW.
Yeah. There definitely needs to be some justice. I mean, this isn't right. It's not right at all. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing families like yours, who are hurting and who are expected to believe a crock of lies. And I mean, that parental instinct kicks in,
Yeah.
but you're being told, oh, no, we did fingerprinting, but we can't provide that to you. So that's a crock of BS. I wish there was more I could say, or just anything. I mean, my heart hurts.
You having us here, it really it helps us, because we're really trying to spread the word of what really happened to Verdis Jr.
Yeah.
What happened to him? What happened to him? And we mean that in the sense of the killing and the body. What happened to Verdis Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the people in positions of authority who have the power to do something need to be held accountable for this.
Absolutely. Everyone involved needs to be held accountable, including the funeral homes.
I agree.
Everyone needs to be held accountable.
I mean, it sounds like some things were handpicked, like you had mentioned. I think that the coroner specified the funeral home to which the body was.
We found that out later. We found that out in, I think it was late May, early June. We found that out that the medical examiners chose the funeral home. We were lied to about that.
Yeah, no, this is
I just put the link to the YouTube. Sorry, hon. I was just gonna say I put the link to the YouTube channel out there in the chat. So if anybody's watching this and you didn't see it in the description, it's there. Be sure to go out there and show some love and support, because my gosh, where the heck is the humanity in the world today?
We gotta get America back.
I agree.
How long did they hold his body?
Well, we were told that he was found on March the 11th, but the most ironic feeling is I never feel anything on the 11th of each month. I feel it on the 4th of each month since this has happened.
Yeah.
Those
Really?
are my saddest. The 4th, the 5th, and the 6th of the month are my saddest days that I experience since he's passed away.
Same with me. I get headaches, and
We just don't
those days are just seem like my worst days around these months, this time of the year.
Yeah.
And it just always seems like the first part of March, the first week of March, it just seems like.
And like tomorrow is the anniversary, supposedly. I don't even like celebrating that date because I know deep down inside my heart that's not the day he died on. I know that. So,
It's
that's
just so
other,
crazy.
yeah, that hurts too as well.
Yeah.
So
Man.
I mean, we've been robbed of everything dealing with a death. No one wants to bury their child. No mother or father wants to ever bury their child, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But what we've been through, we've been robbed of everything.
Everything. Yep.
Everything.
And when it comes to what you mentioned about, burying a child, you had to go through that process with someone who in your heart, that's not him.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And there's a family out there just like you.
That could be looking for their loved one. We have no idea.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
And still looking,
Wow. Yeah, that is something. But I'll definitely be passing this around the true crime community and seeing what other creators can do.
Yeah, because
definitely.
what I've learned is that it takes a village to fight justice. And that's the message we can convey to people. It takes everybody. It takes everybody. It really does. Because two people can't do it by themselves. There's no way
No.
possible. There's no way possible.
And what's sad is that these people down there in Pinellas County are getting paid for not doing their job, and you're doing the work of
what they should be doing.
what they should be doing. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna do the work. That's my baby now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna do the work.
Lori
Oh,
says,
yes, please, Lori.
yeah, please do. Lori says she'll send it to the Glare. The Glare is another channel out here. It covers topics as well.
I think Crude too. I mean, he's getting into the true crime side of things. There's a lot of people we can send it to. Benny.
Yeah.
Chasing. Tons of people.
Slinky says, isn't Pinellas County the sheriff the one that told people not to loot there or they would be shot?
I think I've seen that at one of the Clearwater beaches or something. They said that at or something. I seen a video about that. I seen a video about that. Something to that magnitude.
I just with everything, there's totally unrelated to this, and I don't even know if it was in the same county. Was it? The Curtis Reeves case. He was a retired police officer. I don't know if you've heard about this situation. I can't even remember what part of Florida it was in, but he was in his 70s, I believe it was, and he was in a movie theater. And
the popcorn.
Yeah. And that dude who threw the popcorn was killed, and Reeves got off.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. I don't know if that was in Pinellas County though. I can't remember.
No, it may not be, but it just when I heard that,
Wasn't it?
Let me look. Let me look
or was
here.
it Pasco County?
Pasco. Okay.
Oh, you know what? You know why? Okay, that is true, Lori. Pasco and Pinellas County share a lot of the same things because.
And Hillsborough.
No. Pasco and Pinellas County share a lot because they don't have the same state government buildings or facilities as Pinellas Park. So yeah, so they're right there. They're all right. They're right there together. They're connected. Pasco and Pinellas County. When you do some research on it, you'll see. But they do.
Wow.
They do. Yeah, I saw that story, and he's gonna get away with killing that guy over some popcorn.
He got away with it.
Yeah. No, he was let off.
Yeah,
right.
He went home.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, but he went home.
Wow. you know something's going on down there.
It has to be.
There's a lot
Mhm.
going on down there.
Oh yeah.
It has to be something going on down there.
I'm just trying to see where it was. If it was Pinellas County, or it was Pasco County.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just so crazy.
I think he
Well-
just said something about the county. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So yeah, thank you again for coming on. I think
Thank you
We're
for
gonna
having
end
us.
it.
You're welcome, and you both are welcome up here anytime. If you just need to
Definitely.
talk, or if you have any updates, you're more than welcome to
Yeah,
come out here
we'll
anytime.
definitely reach back out because we will have
Please do.
updates. We will have
Mhm.
updates.
You
And
you can
thank
consider
you
this.
for listening in. We really appreciate the support. We really do.
We appreciate you, and you can consider this one of your homes out here in the internet land, if you want.
Well, thank you guys.
You're very
Anytime.
welcome.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys get answers, and
Yeah.
we'll share it as much as we can share it to get it out there.
Yeah,
And
we don't have a lot of resources, but we've got the platform, and we have people who also know who to write to. So,
Right.
we'll do whatever we can. This needs to be out there, and you all deserve closure
Thank
mhm.
you.
Thank you. We're
anytime.
fighting for my son, Verdis Jr.
Yeah.
We're
'cause I know
definitely
he
praying for
would
you
for
guys.
me.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, I know he would for me.
Mhm. Well, we're here if you need anything, and we'll see what we can do with what we have now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Laura, you
Yeah.
can feel free to message me. You have my information.
Mhm.
Anything, and I'll message you too as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Let's see here.
All
Okay.
right. So, do you want to end it?
Yeah, I can wrap it up, but just asking everybody who's watching, just please keep this couple in this situation in your prayers. I know you will. It's heartbreaking, and let's try to get this story out there too. The fact that the news media turned them down, and this runaround. I mean, y'all out there saw it. You saw the pictures. Like, but,
I really don't think that's their son.
no, I don't think so either. I feel like it was a setup. I don't know over what, and I don't know who was involved. But for the girlfriend to move over 1,400 miles when she had nothing lined up for an apartment, nothing,
Yeah, it's weird. It's all so weird.
and then the no contact.
That's weird too. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you for interacting and bringing your questions, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And
When I first heard that story, I was floored. I was just
yeah,
like, oh my god.
no kidding.
Yeah, it was crazy. Such nice people too.
Yes,
All right, yeah, go ahead and end it. I just wanted to say
you're good. You're good. But for everybody, wherever you're watching from, or if you're catching us on the replay, number one, you're appreciated. Number two, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Come out and interact in discussions like this, because your insights matter too, and they could be more help than you know. And definitely keep the family in your prayers. And just want to wish you all a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good night wherever you all are.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.